Welcome to Facts News. I'm Eric Moore. Today is March 13th, 2012, and tonight I want to talk about a story that's kind of been beneath the headlines. It's starting to gain a little traction right now. It's about the shooting of a young man in Sanford, Florida, right outside of Orlando on February 26th. An unarmed young man, 17-year-old young man who was shot in his own neighborhood by a neighborhood watch person. And it's the problem is the neighborhood watch person has not been arrested, even though it's been determined that he did shoot the young man, and that the young man was in fact killed, and that young man that was killed was unarmed. I'm going to read from the Orlando Sentinel today. Renee Stutzman, a reporter. This is Renee's article. It says, while an angry crowd of critics stood by, sometimes shouting at him, Sanford Police Chief Bill Lee on Monday admitted that his detectives do not have enough evidence to arrest a white neighborhood crime watch volunteer who shot and killed an unarmed black youth from Miami. George Zimmerman told police he acted in self-defense when he fatally shot Trayvon Martin February 26th in a gated community. Until we establish probable cause to dispute that, we don't have the grounds to arrest him, the chief said. Sanford police detectives were expected to finish their work on the case Monday, the chief said, and will forward the matter to the state's attorney's office Tuesday, which will make a charging decision. But that does not satisfy the small crowd that had gathered outside of Sanford City Hall. More than a dozen members of Sanford's black community joined by a group of reporters to hear what city officials had to say about the case. The black community seized your department protecting the shooter, shouted one man. A little black boy is dead. The chief tried to reassure the crowd that his agency was investigating the shooting, and he thoroughly and completely and fairly, he said, there are no winners in this event. According to an incident report, Zimmerman, 28, called police that night, reporting that he saw a suspicious person. Sanford police dispatched a patrol car, but before that officer arrived, other 911 callers began to phone the agency complaining of a fight. The Martins' lawyers, Benjamin Crump and Natalie Jackson, have filed suit in Sanford, asking a judge to order the police to release their 911 recordings. Trayvon was walking from a 7-Eleven to the apartment of his father's fiancee, a home he had visited before. He had a package of Skittles in his pocket when Zimmerman spotted him. The teenager was slain about 70 feet from the apartment where he was headed. This is what both sides agree. Now, that being said, what we have here is a situation of an unarmed young man, 17 years old. I read other reports that said this young man weighed approximately about 140 pounds. And it's just an uncalled for situation. Apparently, the police dispatchers, when Zimmerman called the police to say there was a suspicious person in the neighborhood, told him, do not approach the young man, that officers were on the way, and that they would handle things. But Zimmerman took it upon himself to grab a gun, a 9mm, and confront the young man. Now, just for a second, put yourself in the young man's shoes. You're walking down the street, it's dark, you just came from the store to get a pack of Skittles, and I believe it said he had an Arizona iced tea. So someone pulls alongside you in a car, you're gonna be afraid. You're gonna be wondering, like, hey, I don't know, what's this person want? I mean, could this person be trying to rob me? Could it be a child molester, or any number of factors could have went through the young man's head, especially when you see someone pull alongside you and they're not a police officer and they don't have a badge or anything of that nature. So apparently, altercation ensued between Trayvon Martin and Mr. Zimmerman, and apparently, according to reports, Martin, the young man, got the upper hand on Zimmerman, who apparently weighs almost 100 pounds more than Martin in a fist fight. So apparently, when Martin was getting the upper hand, and Zimmerman, according to witnesses, shot the young man in the chest. This isn't in dispute at all. Zimmerman's admitted to shooting the young man in the chest, but he claims it was self-defense. My question is, how is it self-defense when the person that you claim to be defending yourself against is only armed with a pack of Skittles and an Arizona iced tea drink. That doesn't that doesn't make any sense. And I'm very disappointed in the city of Sanford, Florida, Seminole County. They haven't done a good job at all with this investigation. I've been willing to bet that that was me, and if I was in Zimmerman's shoes and I did something like this, I would be locked up and facing at least a manslaughter charge. And as of today, over 2 weeks later, no charges have been filed. A young man is dead. A promise in life is cut short, and many people around the country are asking, where is the justice? And what we have to do, and what I've done is I've gotten information for the city of Sanford, Florida. I've called the mayor's office. I left a message, and I also want to equip you with the tools to go out there and do the same thing. Uh, because you have to, in cases like this, if people are willing to sweep it under the rug, you have to agitate, you have to aggravate, and you have to motivate the police to take action and make necessary steps. So the phone number actually to the city of Sanford, Florida is area code 407-688-5001. Please take that number down, call it, call friends of yours, call your family members. We need to put the pressure on the Sanford Police Department and let them know that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, in the words of Dr. King. This is unacceptable. Uh, even if the young man were black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter what color is involved here. Injustice is injustice, and we as Americans can't stand for it. A young man has lost his life. A family is left to pick up the pieces of a life shattered. Mr. Zimmerman is walking free right now, and it's not right, and it's unacceptable. There have also been reports that Zimmerman had complaints against him by other residents within the gated community in which they lived. It's just so many things out there, and it shouldn't have come to that. I mean, those of you who own guns out there, please be responsible. Please be responsible. Um, there's so many lives are lost to gun violence every day, and this tragedy just highlights that how senseless that gun violence can be, and how tragic of a situation this is. Uh, this is a microcosm of what's going on in our country. That people are so apt to shoot as opposed to ask questions and figure out what's actually going on within a situation. Trayvon Martin was just minding his own business, but who's to say the next person walking down the street facing a situation couldn't be you? So, in this situation, we have to make an example and make sure that justice is served, even if the local law enforcement agencies in Florida aren't turning the wheels fast enough. We'll put the pressure on the state of Florida, the federal government, the Justice Department to get involved. But there needs to be charges filed. There has to be charges filed. This is unacceptable, and I hope that this video will motivate you to action. Um, it's just an egregious set of circumstances, and we want to pray for the family, all the families involved, especially the Martin family, um, in all of the tough times that they're having to deal with right now of losing their young son. Once again, please, if you have time, please make time. Better yet, call the city of Sanford, Florida, area code 407-688-5001, and make sure you agitate, aggravate, and motivate them to take action. Thank you, and God bless.